Looking to gain your first role in the Azure space? In today's video, we're going to go for 4 easy steps to ensure that you get your first role. There are a lot of roles in Azure which you might want to focus on. You could be into data security, AI, or service development. These 4 steps will allow you to get a base knowledge to ensure you can go in any of these fields. In the description, I do have a blog post which goes through the 4 steps and points to free resources like MS Learn where possible. The first step is learning how to code. For me, my main programming language is C#, but there are also many other good options. For example, Python and JavaScript. The reason why I personally picked C# in the Azure space is because there are a lot of good tutorials on Microsoft Learn which are free, that are easily accessible and work very well when learning Azure. If you're looking to go into the data space, you might pick Python over C#. After learning your main programming language, it's time to learn how to interact with an SQL database, also known as a relational database. Again, Microsoft Learn is another good option. After learning SQL, it's time to look at how you would store your code inside a version control system like Git. To do this, I would learn Git and also GitHub, so then you can view your code online too. This will store your code in a very safe place, ensuring it cannot easily be deleted. And again, if you use GitHub, you can have free repositories. To summarize step 1 of learning how to code, you should first learn a main programming language, then learn how to interact with a relational database, then after this, learn how to version control your software. Step 2 is now learning the basics of Azure, means learning the Azure concepts and the main services to ensure that you understand what Azure contains. To do this, you can use Microsoft Learn as a free resource. Whilst doing Microsoft Learn courses, you can use Azure for free, allowing you to generate resources that are part of the course, ensuring that you can get a hands-on experience of the resource that you are currently learning. After learning the fundamentals of Azure, it's crucial that you can demonstrate the knowledge that you have learned. To demonstrate your knowledge, a Microsoft certification is one of the best ways of doing this. You can do the Azure Fundamental Certification to show employers how proficient you are in Azure. As they say, practice makes perfect. So before doing your exam, I would advise you to do some practice tests. There are a lot of good practice tests which are easily Googleable. For example, you could use a Wizlabs practice test or do the official practice test. Practice tests ensure that you're ready for the exam and you're also used to the type of questions that are involved in a typical Microsoft exam. Let's talk more about the Azure Fundamental Certification. The Azure Fundamental Certification requires you to take the AZ900 exam. The AZ900 exam will cost you some monetary investment. For example, in the UK, it will cost you £69, in the US, $99, or in most EU countries, €99. To pass the exam, you'll require a pass mark of 700, and in the exam you can get between 40 to 60 questions. So your pass mark will be weighted depending on how well you answer these questions. To recap step 2 of learning the basics of Azure, you should first have learned the core concepts and services that Azure has to offer. After this, you should have done some practice tests, and then finally, to demonstrate your knowledge, you should have taken the Azure Fundamentals exam. If you've done the Azure Fundamentals exam, leave a comment and I would like to congratulate you. Step 3 is working and deploying software in a team. This means learning Agile and DevOps concept to ensure you can work in a team and also deploy your software seamlessly into Azure. For learning Agile, I would look at the basic concepts of Agile. I would also dive further into other Agile frameworks. For example, Scrum, Kanban, and SAFe. To learn and deploy your application into Azure, you need to learn some DevOps concepts first. These concepts are such as infrastructure as code, continuous integration, and continuous deployment. To implement these concepts, you need a DevOps tool, for example, like Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps is a great tool to deploy your application to Azure. Microsoft Learn has a good 3-part tutorial on Azure DevOps that will get you started from building your application to deploying your application. To recap step 3 of working and deploying your software in a team, you should have learned the basics of Agile, and its frameworks, and also gone into DevOps concepts and then implemented those DevOps concepts on a DevOps tool like Azure DevOps. If you need any help or would like to share your success, you could leave a comment down below or even join our community Discord, which the link is in the description. Step 4 is all about demonstrating knowledge. This means creating a project which you can then demonstrate to a potential employer. Storing your code inside a repository like GitHub, which your potential employer could have access to. In an interview, you want to be able to take that potential employer and step through your code from UI to database. This also means demonstrating the other steps that you've learned inside this video. For example, you should be able to demonstrate DevOps concepts that you have learned and show them how you have built and deployed your application. If you've created a complex enough project, this should really impress your employer and show them how much you really do understand. If you are finding these steps useful, can you please like, comment and subscribe and turn on notifications? It'll be much appreciated. If you really want to achieve and ensure that role, I would advise taking another certification. This could be from another cloud provider or another fundamental certification. Some good options from a cloud provider for Google Cloud Platform would be Cloud Digital Leader, or for AWS Cloud Practitioner. If you know which area of Azure you're looking to go into, it would be a good idea to look into doing the certification in that area. For example, if you're looking to go into security, a good example for that would be the Security, Compliance and Identity Fundamentals certification. If you're looking to go into AI, the Azure AI Fundamentals might be a good idea. Or if you're looking to go into data, Azure Data Fundamentals would be the best option. So if you complete all these steps, you should have numerous deliverables that you'll be able to impress your potential employer. The first one's going to be your MS Learn profile page, where you should have a lot of past modules and pathways that you've completed. The second one is 1 or 2 fundamental level certifications that show that you have some level of proficiency in Azure. The next one is going to be your project, which should be stored in a GitHub repository and be easily deployable and demonstratable, ready for an interview. The next one is good enough knowledge to answer questions about an Azure role in an interview. From all these things that I've just mentioned, you should be technically ready for your first Azure role. I hope you secure your Azure role as soon as possible. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next video. Good luck.